indicate on the dividers, number 1, number 2, but where you have seen the dividers, it indicates straight to the appendix. But we are supposed to indicate outside whether number 2, number 3, just like that. But where it leads, it means that is an appendix. Chair, I submit to consider my presentation.
Please, you may proceed.
So I have these letters, Chair, which were omitted. Submit. And appendix 2. Thank you very much. Chair, allow me now to go straight and present our report. Query number 1, failure to disburse funds. Cause of the query: the local authority acknowledges the auditor's observation. The disbursement of loans was affected by the delayed guidance on the financial institutions to handle the loans from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. Consequently, the Ministry issued the Circular number 15, dated 1st November 2022, under Treasury and the Financial Management. Action taken: following the issuance of guidance from the Ministry, the local authority has since disbursed the funds to the beneficiaries as approved by the CDF committee. See the Appendix 1. Remedial measure, Chair: local authorities shall always adhere to the provisions in the guidance given and continue calling for applications in the last quarter of each year for the following year to avoid delays in fund disbursement. Query number 2, failure to implement projects. Cause of the query, Chair: local authority acknowledges the auditor's observation. The failure to implement the projects during the audit was due to some clubs changing the project type without following procedures, and others completely failing to implement the projects. Action taken, Chair: the local authority wishes to state that out of the 7 beneficiaries, 5 have implemented the projects, while 2 clubs have failed to do so due to fund misappropriation. The matter has been reported to Zambia Police Service, an action which is expected to serve as a deterrent to other potential offenders. See Appendix 2. Measure, Chair: to avoid the project delays, the local authority will closely monitor, sensitize, and supervise beneficiaries, offering timely advice as needed. Note that sensitization shall be aimed at reinforcing the importance of beneficiaries adhering to their original business proposals. B, cross-cutting audit findings, budget performance, and spend funds 21.8. Cause of the query: variance. The variance of 2 million represents the funds withheld by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for the purchase of a CDF monitoring motor vehicle. Interest: the interest received was money earned on the CDF revolving fund account. This was part of the funds for the loans revolving fund for the year 2023 as guided by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The balance brought forward was for the year 2020 about 433,193, and also for the year 2021, 1,600,000 CDF allocation, which was already committed to projects. The unspent fund, this includes the 2022 CDF allocation whose project implementation delayed due to the delayed policy guidance from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Action taken, Chair. The works have commenced and the balance on the unpaid funds has reduced as shown in the table below. Chair, from 21.8, we have paid 13.1 and the balance is 8.7. See Appendix 3. Measure, Chair, to avoid the delays in the disbursement of funds, the local authority will enhance engagement with the Ministry of Local Government Rural Development on policy guidance. Further, the local authority shall continue with the process of calling for applications earlier in the last quarter of the year before the actual implementation. Another query, Chair, failure to spend the number of outstanding projects 16. Cause of the query, local authority acknowledges the auditor's observation. The failure to spend funds on the 16 approved project was due to the delay in the issuance of the 2022 CDF guidelines and inability of some local contractors to comply with the procurement requirements. Additionally, bureaucratic approval processes involving the Office of the Accountant General and the Auditor General before decentralization further exacerbated the problem. Action taken, out of the 16 projects, one was the procurement of CDF monitoring vehicle. 8 projects have been implemented and completed awaiting commissioning, while 4 are ongoing as indicated in the status report attached here to. 3 projects are outstanding for the following reasons. The procurement of a community bus is under dispute and in the court of law. The construction of an embankment along Rukutu River is at procurement stage. And the third one is the supply and the delivery of Luwingu District Hospital Digital X-ray machine, whose contract has been awarded, awaiting the supplier to deliver. See Appendix 4. The measure, Chair, the local authority will actively engage in capacity building with local contractors to expedite the implementation of projects. This will involve providing training, mentorship, and access to resources to ensure that local contractors have the necessary skills and knowledge to effectively carry out the projects. Misapplication of funds. Cause of the query, the Council acknowledges the auditors above findings. The compliance monitoring exercise revealed that 3 clubs did not fully comprehend the nature of the projects they applied for. Consequently, they changed the projects without obtaining prior authorization from CDF committee. Action taken. The 3 groups were engaged and cautioned against their regrettable actions. Further, following the findings that one project was already running, the beneficiary club was advised to write to the local authority requesting for ratification of its action by the CDF committee. As for the other two clubs that completely failed to execute the projects, the matter was reported to the police. See Appendix 5. Measure Chair, to prevent repeated inquiries, the local authority will consistently prioritize sensitization and ensure that everyone who violated the law is prosecuted. To achieve this, the local authority will work closely with the law enforcement agencies and the community leaders to educate the public on the importance of compliance with the law and regulation. Failure to disburse soft loan, cause of the query, the local authority acknowledges the auditor's observation. The disbursement of loans was affected by the delayed guidance on the financial institution to handle the loans from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. Consequently, the ministry issued circular number 15 dated 1st November 2022 under Treasury and Financial Management. Action taken. Following the issuance of the guidance from the ministry, the local authority has since disbursed the funds to the beneficiaries as approved by the CDF committee. Measure Chair, the local authority shall always adhere to the provisions in the guidance given and continue calling for applications in the last quarter of each year for the following year to avoid delays in the disbursement, in the funds disbursement. Appendix 1.9.1 under cross-cutting issues, Chair. Bursary secondary school and skills development and spend grants, 4.4 million. Cause of the query, Chair. Local authority has taken note of the auditor's observation regarding the unspent funds amounting to 4,404,106 kwacha under bursaries. The unspent funds were due to the two primary reasons. Firstly, despite extensive sensitization efforts, the community response was low. And secondly, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development did not provide any guidance on the including ration allowance in the area disbursement for the beneficiaries. Action taken, Chair, to prevent the accumulation of unused funds. The local authority allocated funds towards the various community-based projects. This was viewed as a proactive measure to ensure that unspent funds did not accumulate, which would improve the quality of life for individuals and families in our community. See Appendix 7. Measure Chair, the local authority will continue with sensitization meetings and radio programs to encourage more students to enroll for the bursary scheme. This will increase the number of beneficiaries of bursaries and help achieve the intended purpose. Additionally, the local authority will work closely with the schools to identify eligible students and provide them with the necessary information and support to apply for the bursary scheme. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you very much once again, Chair. Chair, allow me to take the committee to page 2.
Page 2 of the report.
Chair, it starts from page 2, it goes up to page 3 The question is, or the query is, failure to implement projects, Chair. Chair, as of December 2022, 30 applicants had applied for projects costing 1.6 million, while 7 applicants with projects costing 255,000 had not implemented the projects. This is the focus, Chair. 7 clubs failed to implement projects costing 255,000 kwacha, Chair. Chair, you will note that the response from management say the local authority acknowledges the auditor's observations. The failure to implement projects during the audit was due to some clubs changing projects type without following procedure and completely failing to implement the projects. Chair, allow me to take you to Appendix 2. Chair, the said projects are listed there. My first question to the Council Secretary is that the letters that one club out of the 7 wrote to seek permission from your council to change the project from oil extracting machine to hammer mill was only written, Chair, on 22nd January 2024. The other letter now, the Council Secretary reporting to police, to the officer in charge, Ruwingu, report of the misappropriation of funds for the youths and women clubs under CDF Empowerment Grant was also written 25th January, if not last week or 2 weeks ago. The question is, Council Secretary, if you were indeed monitoring the projects and the clubs, at which point did you realize that these clubs had engaged in projects that were not initially approved by CDF committee, that it had to take you Auditor General's office after visitation, then you realize that you are coming to this committee, that's when you wrote these letters? Is the monitoring of projects in Ruwingu effective? If they are effective, why didn't you detect or guide accordingly at the time before external auditors came in? I submit, Chair.
Honorable, is it on the same? Yes. Okay.
Just on the same, Chair. Yes. Are you seeing that letter? When was it written by the secretary to the committee?
It doesn't indicate the date, but the date that we received and give direction was only 22nd.
22nd.
Yes.
Which other date are you seeing there?
The 19th, when we received the letter.
You received on 22nd or 19th? Because you
If
said
you
said you received it on 22nd.
No, that is an action taken.
Action.
Directing to the officers to work on it.
On 19th.
19th, that's when it reaches the registry.
The other date?
The other date is 22nd.
The other one?
The other one is 23rd.
The 23rd date? What happened?
On the 23rd date?
Yes.
So we are giving the direction to the socio-economic planner to take action, mostly to report to CDFC.
And when were you audited?
We were audited around, should be mid-year.
Mid-year.
Mid-year of
Then you are taking action the following year in January.
Yes, Chair. Through Chair, I can still explain a bit on that one.
Please go ahead.
Chair.
Explains, Chair. if you permit me, Chair, the same letter that Honorable Mutero is referring to, they were acting on a letter which was not even signed, Chair. There's no signature. But if you look at the handwriting, these are people who can sign the said letter. I don't know if it is only mine. The letter was unsigned. So we don't know who is the author of this letter who could not sign, well written English and everything. Then the council management was was acting on a letter which could not be signed. So, Chair, I wanted to give a bonus as a response.
Okay. Council Secretary.
Thank you very much. Chair, maybe if I can start with the last question from Honorable Nyambose. If you have seen on the letter, it says Secretary Priska Mkuka. These are people who are in various wards. And sometimes it's very difficult for them to even to understand what you are talking about, the signing. However, I would still accept that these people, they did not sign, but there are those people who signed using their names. So with that question, I would just send an apology if a real signature was needed on this letter. But I'm looking at these people who are coming from various distances.
Council Secretary, you have made your point.
Yes, Chair.
If you say these people can only sign by writing their names or signature, you know the standard. And you know if both sides are acceptable, you know that. So we can move on. He has asked and you have responded. Yes.
We are following. But if you see that letter, well written in English. So when we say number one, there is no date. Number two, even the signature, it would mean one of your officers generated this letter. You see the English is well, isn't it? It's readable.
Chair, not in that way, not that one of the officers wrote. No. We need to be as professional as we can by receiving and reporting what we have received. So, Chair, this is what I received. This is the letter that I received, and this is the letter that I've attached under this.
All right, Honorable Nyambose.
Chair, you just used the correct term there. The standard is that if you cannot do a signature, you put a thumbprint. Chair, these are standards in government, and we cannot relegate to say a well-written. If you look at the English of this letter, is someone who can even put initials. There are no initials, and this is a Mukuka who writes proper English, who failed to sign for the letter, and also without putting a date. And the council secretary receives such a letter without observing. How do you tell that this letter was written by Mishek Nyambose if I cannot put my initials or even my signature on my print? These are documents, public documents. Chair, the standard in government, which I don't want this council to relegate, is that someone must put his initials or sign for the documents, that especially when they are learned, like this person we are putting here. Otherwise, you suspect that these were generated by officers. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Another question? You have a question to answer, Council Secretary?
Chair, we've even forgotten the questions, the first questions. Yes.
I can repeat the question,
Please.
Chair. The letters that we are talking about, the letters from the club applying for change of project was done 19th of January 2024. And we are talking about the year, Chair, ending in 2022. The CDF for 2022, they went into this project, and They only wrote after auditors and when they knew that they are coming here. And the letters from the council secretary to the police were only done 25th of January 2024. The question is, if you do your DPO, your sexual economic planner, and the other technicals, director of works, you do monitoring, didn't you realize that these people had ventured into projects that they had not initially applied for, and hence there was need for them to make an application to amend or to change the project? If monitoring is effective, why didn't you observe this?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on this one, yes, we were audited around June, and those are the findings from the Auditor General. Chair, during the immediate, not even when we were audited, Chair, we were carrying out backstopping and monitoring. And it's a good experience that, especially some of these clubs, it was even a challenge for us to find them, especially those that have misappropriated the funds, even to prove that this club has misappropriated the fund. It was a time of visiting, going there just to look at what they have done. Chair, monitoring, it has been very effective with my officers. It's only that it happened, like the way Honorable Nyamboze is saying, that it happened at a time we are almost coming here. That's when we took actions over what we had already noticed. Chair, on that one, I lend an apology.
The Council Secretary, when you say you are audited in mid-2023, which is about June 2023, and in your submission now, oral submission, you're saying it was difficult for you even to find where these people are and what they are doing. When you are effectively monitoring, how does it become difficult? And besides, you have the physical address for all the clubs, all the people that apply in your district. They come to the local authority, and in those, respective places, they are found in wards where the councillors are. So why was it difficult for you to allocate them and see what they are doing? That is number one. Number two, members are concerned that you only took action when you are almost coming here. Last week, from media, after the auditors went through, what engagements, because you're saying you have been interacting, you have been going there. So what have you been agreeing for more than 6 months without action?
Come in and help me on that one, and other officers who have been doing this backstopping the challenges.
Planner.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to start by stating that there is a lot of misinformation out there, and that is the more reason.
From who?
I'm talking about the clubs.
No, I'm saying misinformation to who and from who?
Misinformation from other stakeholders to those that may have benefited.
You are under Cap 12. We don't say stakeholders. Tell us misinformation from the councillor, misinformation from you, the officer, council, or the MP, who?
The Chair, in most cases, it comes from the civic leaders to the clubs.
The MP.
I wouldn't want to bring in the MP on that one.
He's a civic leader. So if you don't tell us, we want to know.
Okay, no. Basically, what I wanted to say is that this is a common problem. That
it's not common. It's in Ruingu.
And it's not just in Ruingu,
no,
but from the councils that have interacted.
We don't see it in our councils. So okay. Go ahead. Don't generalize. Please restrict yourself to Ruingu.
Okay. Thank you, Chair,
Let's
for the
hear
guidance.
The problems of Ruingu. Yes.
Yes. Otherwise, I just wanted to tender in an apology to say that we had a lapse on our part as management. Otherwise, we had detected this problem area almost 3 months after the disbursement was done. So the only lapse on our part is that we didn't do a lot of due diligence by pestering those clubs that had benefited. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nyambosi.
This one may not be a question, Chair, but just some interest. I think we have rich pastures in Ruwingu. Chair, when I take you to the table,
Which table on the same
yes,
appendix?
Appendix 2, the status quo regarding the 7 clubs that benefited from CDF grants.
Yes.
Number 4, Chair. Ncherenge Multipurpose Cooperative Society. They are
Is that
the
number 4?
number 4 on the schedule, Chair, before those letters. Are we there, Chair?
No, I think I'm looking at a different table.
Page
Sorry.
Appendix 2.
Yes.
There is a schedule there of all the
Yes.
the clubs that benefited from grants.
Go ahead, sir.
There are 6, Chair. There are 7, although the other one is not numbered. Number 4, Chair. Ncherenge Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited. It's in Musonde Ward. The business applied for was goat farming. They were given 30,000. The business they ventured into was the same. The cooperative bought 12 goats and is doing fine. At the time of backstopping visit, the number of goats had risen to 25 within 1 year. Chair, I was very impressed that this is a very good thing, how the goats can multiply. In most cases, Chair, goats under CDF do not multiply. You remember I mentioned it. But within a year, from this is a reality, Chair. You remember I mentioned, but in Ruwingu, 12 goats multiplied to 25.
Doubled.
This is encouraging. They doubled, plus 1. This is a point of encouragement so that you'll be monitoring, so that the empowerment given really yields the benefit to the people. I would be interested next time if I'll be here to learn that they have gone up to 50, because the rate at which they are multiplying is quite encouraging. So that's my comment I wanted to say. As I was reading, I was very much encouraged, Chair.
Honorable Gamondo.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm actually interested in the failure to disburse funds, and this one I want just to pick out one thing.
You're on page what?
On page 2 of 8, and I also married with the same. I will marry it with the failure to disburse soft loans. They are almost related.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
I have some few points of clarification so that maybe I know more about this. One, there was failure. People could not get actually their loans because the guidelines were not received. However, after some time, the guidelines were received. I think it was in November 2022, which actually you have answered through circular number 15, which was dated in November 2022. So from November, when you received this guidance, you only managed actually to start disbursing the loans in June 2023. Is that the correct position? Before I answer, I ask another question.
Yes.
Okay.
Through the chair.
The first question, why did it take you too long, 6 months, to start actually giving out the loans? That is number one. Number two, you have said that so far you have given out the loans. And you have also mentioned that part of the monies that were still outstanding was the interest which was gained or which was earned
on this revolving loan fund. I wanted to know how much money was earned in terms of interest. And also, I wanted also to know the money that you disbursed, you gave out in terms of loans, does it also include the same interest? And then the last one, I also wanted you to show this committee evidence to show that these are the beneficiaries. What I have here is from the council. Now, I don't have anything actually which I want you to show me and show the members that this is how we have been relating. This is what is coming from the bank, showing us actually how much money has been given out actually to the would-be beneficiaries. And through you, actually, I also wanted to find out from this appendix.
How many questions, sir?
Just one. I don't want to ask again. From this these same beneficiaries, the ones that you have actually mentioned here, have all of them received their monies or not? And if they've also started paying back, how much has been paid back? Thank you.
Council Secretary, can start from somewhere.
Thank you, Chair.
And
Allow
that's
me
maybe the
to
last
ask the Treasurer to respond, because these are the figures.
Treasurer?
Thank you, Chair. As regards to why it took long for the loan disbursement to be effected, firstly, Chair, when the guidance was received, we had to engage the banks as well. The bank had to do due diligence, which in most cases they were doing through head office. So when the applications are submitted, they were also submitting to head office, which is Lusaka, and then they would wait for the feedback. So would wait until that feedback comes, they communicate back to the council, then taken to the CDFC committee to make the final approval. So partly that also added to why the delay.
So you are saying the delay actually. How far is the bank from where you operate, from the civic center?
Chair, it's a walkable distance.
A walkable distance?
Yes.
And it took you 6 months to resolve that with the bank?
I was saying it partly that contributed, but that was
because
not
I think
the
the standard should be 21 days. The CDF guidelines. The bank is given a window of 21 days to vet their applicants or to resolve whatever between the council. Okay, Honorable Simambe.
Chair, thank you very much. Treasurer, I just wanted to know, to what extent do you think the bank is an obstacle? And you have indicated that while it's a walkable distance to the bank, they also send these documents to head office. Do you think sending documents to head office is one of the obstacles in ensuring that these people give these monies to the beneficiaries? Chair, I'm asking this question because I've seen applications where, let's take for instance, number on your table, on, sorry, is it Appendix 2? Appendix 2, there was, I think, one group, should be number 3 if I'm not mistaken, no. The one that had planned to buy an oil expeller. I'm not too sure which one, Chair. Should be number 5. Okay? They had planned to buy an oil expeller. And you know, such businesses are time bound. If you give them, you approve such a club in a period where there's no more groundnuts, no more sunflower, and other crops that you would get oil from, then it means such a business will not take, because you have given them outside the period that they wanted. So in short, what are you doing to ensure that banks expedite in ensuring that such clubs that apply such businesses are considered first? Because surely, what else would they do if they don't change the business? Would you be happy to see a situation where these monies sit in the bank indefinitely? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Council Secretary. Or we still with
Chair, it's still with the Treasurer.
Treasurer?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the question was, is the process being undertaken by the bank a deterrent to the issuance of the loan? I would say it is not a deterrent, but it is a good process to ensure that the right thing is done.
Honorable Nyambosa, Honorable Sumumba.
Chair, it's a different one on page 5.
Answered, actually.
Oh, sorry. My
Yes, there are so many questions. So
Yes, Chair.
the interest, where it is, the payment rate, all those questions.
Yes, in terms of the repayments, there are some who have complied, and the total that has been recovered so far in total is about 216. Of course, there are some that are defaulting, and we are still making engagements, of course, through the bank, working together with the bank to ensure that there is that improvement in terms of loan repayments.
Sorry, Chair. Chair, I wanted the Treasurer to mention the bank, because we want to know which banks are efficient and which banks are slow, because our people need this money all the time.
Treasurer.
The
which
Chair,
bank is that?
we are with NatSave.
Not safe.
Yes.
Okay. Other questions?
The other question, I've just responded as to how much we've recovered in total, which is 216, which will now be issued. Then there was also a question to find out whether the interest that was realized was also paid out. Chair, at the time of the first issuance, that was not paid out, but in the subsequent loan issuance, that will also be included together with what has been paid back. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. It's a different question. I take the committee to page 5 of the main report, which is failure to spend.
Page 5.
Page 5 of 8, which is a failure to, the query is under failure to spend. And I'm interested in the community projects. On the action taken, you're saying 3 projects are outstanding for the following reasons. The procurement of a community bus is under dispute and is in court. The construction of an embankment along Lukuta River is at procurement stage. And the third one is the supply and delivery of Luwingu District Hospital's digital X-ray machine, whose contract has been awarded, awaiting the supplier to deliver. On, I'll not talk about the community bus because it is under litigation. The supply of an X-ray machine to Luwingu District Hospital. First question is this project funded under 2022 CDF?
Council Secretary.
Yes.
Why has it taken so long for council to procure an X-ray machine? As you know, how important the X-ray machine is to provision of health services, because I can refer you to Appendix 4, where you're showing the contract signed between council and the supplier. It was signed on 28th December 2023. And the same contract does not have complete attachments, because I was interested to check the delivery period. I was interested to check the delivery period and even the payment terms. Why is incomplete submission for the contract? When is the machine going to be supplied to the hospital?
Is it a
Thank you.
follow-up? Yes, and then on the same too. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. On the same page, I just want to have some clarification. We have this project, the construction of an embankment along Lukutu River, which you have said, yes, with that river, yes, which you have said is under procurement. I wanted to find out, why has it taken too long, like Honorable Member here said, to procure this project, which I see it's very important? Why has it taken too long? And also, if you are saying it is under procurement, as Luwingu, you seem to have a problem with contractors. Is it because you don't have the right contractors to do these works, and such that it can take too long to do the procurement process? Is it the problem with your procurement officers or the contractors? What could be the problem?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I think
yes.
I have the Director of Works. Can explain much on the two. I submit.
Director?
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with a question to do with Lukutu. Why it has taken too long to be procured. The first one is to do with, I can say, ability of the bidders, because at some point we had to re-advertise the same project, and the action that has been indicated here being under procurement, this is the third time that we're undertaking the procurement process for the same project. Then the other one, when we identified the bidder, there was also an appeal from the other bidder who was aggrieved, and the project was appealed, and then we had to be, it was suspended by the Zambia Public Procurement Authority. Then after that, we had to exculpate ourselves, and I think that's where we are, and that's why it's indicating that it's under procurement stage as of now.
So, Director, the concern of the committee is the period, and then the importance of this machine. And if it can be going on, you re-advertise, you cancel, re-advertise. So you said, how many times have you done that?
Chair, that is for the embankment.
Okay, I see. Yes.
On the embankment, even in your own council, 3 times, you are not, you are failing to solve a problem. Director of Works, there is simplified bidding, yes or no?
Through the chair, yes, there is.
Yes. The main issue here is to deliver the service. Are we going to see the forced bidding, or this matter will be resolved?
Through the chair,
Yes.
the matter has been resolved, and the contractor has been identified. It's just the issue of concluding the appeal that was made, which you have clarified with the Zambia Procurement Authority.
You are saying resolved, but waiting. So where are you?
Sorry,
Yes,
Chair,
sir.
let me help.
Yeah.
Think it has been resolved and we have awarded.
No one is going to appeal?
I don't think so because the Chair allow me, there are these letters from ZPPA. We have been guided and we have even appealed and they even engaged these suppliers and at the moment we are even awarded. As I'm talking to you, it should be at the Attorney General for further approval.
And then this will be done after the rain season, isn't it?
Definitely,
You
Chair.
see this. Chair, allow me to take advantage, even if it is said no. Here you've said the bus issue is in court, but in your own letter, when you are explaining to the ministry, you've said this matter is not in court. So what should we believe? You can go to your own appendix. You know your letter, isn't it? Should I take you to that letter? So is it in court or not in court? Appendix 4.
This one,
Chair.
1, 2, 3.
Secondly, Luwingu Town Council wishes to state that the application, blah, blah. 36-seater community bus is not in court, but under investigations. Here you are saying the matter is in court.
Yes. Through the Chair.
Yeah.
Yes.
When the investigation just started, if you look at the letters,
Yes.
there was some investigation, submission of documents, until eventually the ward councillor was locked up and the ward WDCs was also locked. Thereafter, I had to write a letter because it took time to, I wrote a letter to National Prosecuting Authority because they were taking this case. And then they responded to say, if you read
I've read.
Yes, they responded to say, the said docket is receiving attention accordingly and will take the matter to the court. And immediately after they concluded, they took this matter to the court. And I'm speaking, it's still under court. But during that process, I had to write the ministry explaining what transpired. And the ministry, in the first letter, they responded to say, at the moment you hold on until this case is done.
Disposed of.
I
What
submit,
did
sir.
happen? I'm getting...
Chair, I cannot explain the matter
All right.
which is in the court of law.
Yes. Yes.
There was a first question, I don't know if it was also asked by Honorable Kamondo or Dr. Manza, on the delay to supply the X-ray machine. I don't think
It was
that it
Dr.
was
Manza, yes.
asked.
Yes.
We would want to, I don't know if it was answered, but we'd like to get
Just
the comment.
on the same, just Honorable Chair, on the same, there is a mixed up here on the Lukutu issue. So what is the position? Is it that it is still under procurement, or, I don't know, maybe you just need to clarify better so that at least we know exactly which position should we take. Is it still under procurement because the documents have been sent to Attorney General, or what should we take here so that at least we are cleared? I think that's a point of clarification there.
Councillor Secretary.
Thank you. Yes, we have concluded and we have awarded and we have forwarded the whole documents to the Attorney General. Immediately it is done, we are going to sign this contract with the contractor.
And on the X-ray machine? The
Allow me, Chair, the director to explain on the X-ray.
Director?
Thank you, Chair.
As we
On
conclude.
the issue of the X-ray, the initial allocation was not adequate, and then we had to vary the funds so that we were able to meet the budget. So that led to the delay of why we didn't procure in time.
Yes, Honorable Mutero, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair.
Mumba and Honorable Spang.
How much was the first amount? And then where is the letter or minutes to avail to your committee to say you had to vary?
Okay. Council Secretary, do you have the letter?
Maybe, I don't know, did we? First, let me ask also the director to conclude on that
Director,
one.
did you apply? Do you have evidence to that effect?
Chair, the evidence was not attached, but the initial, I can speak to the initial amount for the X-ray. The initial amount was in the range of 800,000, and then it was changed due to exchange rate, because I think it's the supplier, or to say the spec that we got supposed to come from India or China. So there was those issues of exchange rate.
So what caused that, the exchange rate? Is it your delayment? Where did it delay from?
Yeah, so Chair, at some point there was also, I can speak to the specs from the end user, because initially it came as a mobile X-ray. Then later on, looking at the requirements, they had to go for a digital X-ray, which brought in a bit of a twist in terms of specification, and also that one was also a contributing factor to the change in prices as well.
Okay, Honorable Dr. Mwanza, then Honorable Nyambose.
Who gave specifications
We can close.
to, is it a supplier gave specifications to the client, or the client gave specifications to the supplier? Then in terms of budgeting, when they are saying the funds that were allocated were inadequate, to purchase an X-ray is different from doing civil works, construction works, because the prices you search online, or even those would-be suppliers, you get the exact cost based on your specifications. So what really, because you are explaining that it came as a mobile X-ray, how it means that the supplier forced the specifications on you, or it is you who specified that it was a mobile X-ray. Also, I'm interested in there are no completion certificates. So all the projects that you have done in community projects that you have done in Luingu, you never issued any completion certificate to contractors. So the buildings are not utilized.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will still ask Chair, the Director of Works, to answer.
Director of Works.
But before that, there was a question concerning the payments and the full contract. Yes, we admit, Chair, that we didn't include the whole entire contract, but it's here, the whole entire contract, and all the period payments and everything, it's indicated on the same contract. I submit, Chair.
But you see, Council Secretary, that document was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be attached here because you know that there is a query against it. So you're supposed to attach so that members are able to peruse and check on it. Honorable Nyambose.
Chair, I want them to answer the question. The change or the variations that were made on the contract to supply the X-ray, if you are the ones who gave the specs and searched for a mobile, a digital, you are the one who supposed to direct the contractors, the suppliers, to say what we need is A, B, C, D. The simple question, Chair, I'll start with, is it the council that prescribed the type of X-ray machine? And which one did you prescribe that you floated? And why did you change? Who caused the change? Is it the council upon realizing that, and why if it is the council? If it is a supplier, at which point did you did you sign the contract? That's when you realize that you needed to do some variation or top up. At which point? That is some questions that need answers, Chair. Then the last one, if another question, no, on the same. Okay, maybe you answer these questions. Is it you, the council, who prescribed a mobile one? And at which point did you realize that this one was wrong, but the other one? And the costing, was it after signing the contract or before? I submit, Chair.
Chair, I still ask the Director of Works to explain on the same.
Director of Works.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, as to who gave the specs for the digital X-ray machine, I would say it wasn't the contractor. And I think in my area submission, I mentioned the end user, who happens to be Ruingu District Hospital. So we are working in conjunction with the end user or the applicant who are going to be using this machine. So the initial submission, which I mentioned to say it was a mobile X-ray machine, it was between Ruingu Town Council and the end user, who is the hospital. Then so the issue of the mobile, we even costed the figure that I mentioned, the range of 800. Then later on, between Ruingu and the end user, who is the Ruingu District, there was need in terms of the functionality, because actually the issue came in that the mobile, there are some things that it cannot do, looking at the need that was needed at the hospital. So they wanted to be modern, or to modernize the issue of X-ray. So before even floated, those changes were made looking at the need that was there. So when I say the specs came from, not from the contractor, but between the end user, who is the Ruingu District, and also the council. So it was after clarifying and costing, now coming up with a new cost, that's when we had to float this tender to bidders. I submit, Chair.
It's complicated. Right? It's complicated. We are not following. We are not following because this was a contract, and you identified what to be purchased and delivered. So where was the problem? Honorable Kamondo, Honorable.
Yeah, your concerns, actually, Honorable Chairperson, are equally my concerns. I want to find out, this is a very important machine which was required by the people of Ruingu, and including yourselves, that you are going to be beneficiaries. But now, from the look of things, you are trying to, I don't know what words, lack of a better term, I don't want to say that. But is it true that there was a lapse between you and the Ministry of Health? Or did you engage them from the beginning? What really happened? Because if you had taken care of this from the start, I'm sure this machine would have been purchased a long time ago. So are you confirming that there was a lapse from your council? Or if there was no lapse, was it the problem of the end users?
Honorable Nyambose, or?
Yes, Chair, just to augment. Where are the minutes from the CDF committee that varied, that changed from a mobile to digital? And if Chair, if this change was made before floating the tender, why bring in the issue of mobile? What could have come out was just an issue of procurement of a digital. What happened prior to that was not necessary to come into the explanation. What should have come is that the price of a digital X-ray machine was so much, approved by CDF. The other issues of them varying specifications are not necessary, and they are bringing out some interest for us to go deeper. This is a delay to the people. Chair, I submit.
This issue, oh, okay, let's get a comment from him then.
The good part, Chair, is that Director of Works, CS, you engaged the Department of Health from the beginning. Now, later on you said because the end users had to tell us. Which end users, if you began the journey together? Which end users? Why would you have planned or accepted the application to have a mobile X-ray, then later change to a digital one? Meanwhile, you are delaying the services that each one of us here and the people of Luwingu so dear to. Why? Again, you have no evidence of the varying. Oh, because of the dollar. No wonder we are asking. Because, thank you, you've indicated that it will be supplied. I should think you've done things. I'm interested, when is it going to be supplied?
I think it has to be indicated in the full contract.
Okay, let me just get a comment before I make my comment. Yes, Honorable.
This tender for supply of X-ray, was it by selective bidding? As you know for sure, this is a specialized equipment. So this contractor, this supplier who won this tender, was it by selective bidding? One. I have looked through your contract. There is no price adjustment in this contract. It is a fixed contract. You negotiate with the supplier, come up with a final contract sum, and in the process of supplying that equipment, there is no price adjustment. Nothing to talk about, maybe the dollar and so on, dollarization, or even changing the scope of wake or something like this. So where did you get the powers to do a price adjustment? Because in your contract, it is actually on page 14, then the article on price adjustment, it says there shall be no price adjustment to be made on this contract. Or maybe to explain better, maybe explain what is the cause of the variation.
Thank you, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. Before I invite the Director of Works.
Maybe don't even invite him, because this whole thing in the first place, you just mishandled it. You have mishandled it in that, I know in my council, at my council rather, we are doing the same. We procured the machine. And this appetite by the councils to want to take a lead always in procuring these things, this is where we are. They want to take a lead, even in things that they don't understand. At the end of the day, you get this mix-up. Honorable Gamondo, please, you are disturbing there. No, I'm not. I want to comment on this one because we are going around. We are not getting anywhere. But what I'm saying is, immediately the contract came up over this. These were supposed to hand over to the end users. The hospital themselves, the medical people, were supposed to come with specifications and everything. They do everything. You only come to the point where you are supposed to pay. Everything should be done. We did the same. We received it 2 weeks ago. Honorable members, let's be in one meeting so that at least the flow, because when you are talking, everybody's. We gave the contractor and the end users. First, we allowed the end users to give us the specifications right from the district to the province and even HQ. This is the machine we want to get. What could be the best machine for that particular area? They will do everything. But what I'm saying is the appetite that we find in local authorities where they want to lead always in contracts. They want, the end user is getting quotations and specifications this side. They are also negotiating with the other contractors so that they award to the people they feel would deliver. And at the end of the day, they say, oh no, we didn't want this, we didn't want this. There are these specifications that we are looking for. You are going around, instead of delivering service, you are delaying the process. We have made it a point in our local authorities that if it's education, whether it's a classroom block, let DEBS and the planning officer from there come and give the specifications. You move like that. Any department, another government ministry or department, you give them lead. In the contract here is saying no adjustment of the price. You are submitting orally there. There was, whether it's the dollar or what, there was some adjustment of price, and that's one thing that delayed. From your submission, that's what we are reading. So sometimes you officers, by trying to explain to us, just like you mislead other people, you end up misleading everyone. But I'm glad because it's not possible for anybody to come and submit orally here and, go scot-free. It's not possible. We always relate to the report, to your submission. We will go thoroughly go through your reports. So I wanted to comment on that we are going forth and, we can't continue like that. We can move. Yes, Honorable, yes.
Chair, a quick one is on page 6 of 8. Chair, I want to tell you.
It's another question, eh?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, maybe before we leave, just hold on, Honorable Nyambosi, just there. I wanted to, in conclusion, on the X-ray machine, want the auditors to go and have a look at this, to kindly revisit this issue at Ruingu, get the facts there, get the submission that was coming from the Ministry of Health, who started the ball rolling, is it the council, and all those things we need clarity from there. All right, please proceed.
Chair, thank you. It's on page 6.
Page 6?
Yes, Chair, misapplication of funds. Chair, one thing of interest, Chair, what I want to ask on that particular one, is that 3 groups were engaged and cautioned against their regrettable actions. Further, the following findings: that one project was already running. The beneficiary club advised letters were written. Chair, of interest is Appendix 5. When you go to Appendix 5, the council wrote to police the same way, Chair, they did it on the first one, on the other one I raised. They only wrote this one in November 2023, after audit. That's when they wrote to the police. And the letters from the club was not dated also and not signed again. The question that I have for Luwingu Council, Chair, I always say that officers are the mirror of themselves. If it is a standard, or it is a Luwingu standard, that letters from clubs should not have a date and should not be signed. Chair, when you look at the letter on the appendix, is it 5? Yes, appendix 5, Chair. You wonder, it is Luata Women's Club. It has no date, no signature, and it is written in our home language. Now, you look at the letter by the council. It is in November 2023. Chair, surely the council secretary and his team, I think, Chair, they can do a good job. We are setting bad precedents, Chair, if we tolerate this. These are clubs that are in the wards. We have WDCs, and we have these directors of planning who engage these clubs, socio-economic planners who can engage these clubs and make them right in their own language, of course, and ask them to sign. These letters are submitted to their offices. They can't check that a letter is undated. And they have the comfort to bring to this committee. And this committee will admit such, Chair. This precedence or standard, is it for Luwingu, or it is something that we can stop and caution these people?
Council Secretary, I think it's loud and clear over the letter that was written by Luata Women's Club. I can only read one sentence here. Turerombo Bwerero. I don't know. So, Council Secretary.
Yes. As Chair.
Are you able
yes.
to read? But I want to emphasize on the point from Honorable Nyambose that we receive these things. These might not understand, the people that were writing might not understand. But at least when it comes to you, say, no, we need a date. When you start as a group, when you start, they give you the date. You put the date because you want a standard, because you know what should be done. Then you say, who was writing this? Can you sign? Even initials. Then to you it should have gone through, it should have been okayed by you. But when you see these things and then you don't do anything, and you want the members are the ones that are supposed to talk about such things. Honorable, yes.
On the same one, page 6, you reported this to the police. You reported 2 clubs to the police for failure to execute the projects. My question is, where do you draw the powers from in terms of CDF guidelines to report a defaulting club to police? Which part of the guidelines on the grants? Because my people should be aware about this. It shouldn't be a hidden issue. You should be aware that when you are a beneficiary for a grant or a loan, you default. The punitive actions are as follows. So, is this action drawn from the guidelines for grants and loans or something like that?
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Chair, we are drawing our powers on the CDF Act of 2018, number 11, Part 5, Section 28. which says anyone who misappropriate the funds of the constituents should be fined through penalties. They have indicated here about
Come again on the act.
CDF Act of 2018, number 11, part 5, section 28.
Yes.
Yeah, it clears indicate that anyone who misappropriates the funds of a constituency, there is some fine penalties, about 2,500, I'm not mistaken, in units, or 5 years imprisonment. It's there in black and white. So we are basing on this one so that others can even learn, because it's law. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. And this, if it's at times, you are the ones that are disbursing these funds. And when you disburse these funds, the beneficiaries get the monies. And then they go there, instead of coming up with the project that they submitted on the applications, then they share the money, or they do another, they change the type of business. And when you go there, when auditors go there, they find the opposite. And at that time, you only start seeing that, or maybe come to realize that this is what is happening after the external auditors.
Can I add the question, Judge?
Are you not part of the same? Can't you be part of that punishment if you fail to monitor? Because when you give out the money, from the inception, you must always be there. Honorable
Just an
Gamon.
addition, actually, Honorable Chairperson. CS, among your responsibilities regarding CDF, 1 is project implementation, 2, management, 3, monitoring and evaluation. In view of what actually the chair has just said, is your council up to task, or there are lapses in what you are doing? Because before we should go and start taking, there would be offenders to police. We should have done our due diligence so that at least we do the sensitization, we do the monitoring. Why should we wait until the auditors come, and that is when now, when we are running away from the fort, then that's when we start going to the police? Are we doing actually the right thing that we are supposed to do as a council?
Honorable Sigambe.
Chairman, my other question is, what would you do, CS, in an event that here's a club that decides to change the business, and it is discovered that the business that they are doing actually is very, very lucrative? Would you still report the same people to the police when actually they are making more money than the initial business that had indicated? Thank you.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much. Chair, let me start with the last question. Those chair that are changing the projects, we are encouraging to continue and also to write to CDF. That's why you have seen these letters. Yes, we admit there was a lapse to guide them how they should write a letter, but we are encouraging them to write a letter so that we report to CDF committee so that they can rectify the change of the program. And the other one is on, if you, Chair, you look at the letters, we have been monitoring and doing backstopping, Chair. But if you look at the letters that are written in November, immediately after we had done a backstopping in September, we're trying to explain to these 2 clubs, to explain to them, because we had little and nothing that we had found. So we wrote in September the 2 letters, and then there was nothing that was coming forth. And then in January, that's when we just decided to report the matter to the police. If you have seen the letters, it is as a result of the monitoring that you have been doing. I submit, Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, as we've heard you saying winding, page 7 and 8, unspent funds. The funds were meant for bursaries. The turnout was low. You did well. The funds were accumulating. So number one, was there any interest earned on these funds? Because they were accumulating. Number two, where again are the minutes or a letter writing to the ministry to vary the funds? Then what you've just shown on Appendix 7, it's just there's this. There is no, you are too economical with the information. No letter to the ministry to ask for variation. Treasurer, the funds were accumulating. Any interest? Because if it is accumulating, it cannot just remain at 4. Is it 4 million? It can't be. Money, Chair, cannot be sitting in the bank and just remain like that. A baby that doesn't grow.
Thank you. Council Secretary, as you wind up.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, there must be an interest, especially for the main account, for all the funds that sits in that account. The auditors only picked the interest under revolving fund, but for the main account, where that money you are talking about sits, I think the interest wasn't picked. However, the interest has been there, and we have been guided by the ministry that we have to deposit direct to the yes, 22116. The letter is there.
The variation?
Sorry?
Where did you get the authority now to appropriate these funds to other, you've said various community projects?
Yes.
That evidence is not there.
Okay.
Like there is no evidence to say the interest is there.
Do you have the letter?
Chair, I think we have the minutes. These are the minutes.
Do you have the letter?
Yeah.
Honorable,
The letter
ask your
for...
question? Yeah, I'm saying ask your question.
Yes.
Combine it.
The people there are listening. Even the people from Luingu are listening. They want to know. We also want to know. We don't want to remain in a vacuum. Earlier on, like the question that he has asked, we know very well that the two accounts are supposed to accumulate interest. The one which you are talking about, that is the one you write to the ministry. The revolving fund, that money goes to you, and you give it out. But now the problem that we have here, you didn't bring any evidence to show us that from the bank, this is how we transacted, and this is actually the interest which was earned. So that at least we have it here, we follow. Now what you have been giving us here is just what you have written yourselves as a council. Nothing to support your evidence that you are giving, because these are the monies which were deposited in a bank account, which should have come with this, and convincingly that was going to settle this issue as well.
Do you have the evidence?
Chair, as I mentioned, if we go through the the audit report. The interest which has been or which was picked is 16,000. Is it 155?
Council Secretary, you are not answering our question. The question is, do you have evidence that came from the ministry when varying those funds? I think that's what members are asking for.
No, I was really trying to answer his question from the honorable. That is another question.
Even on this one, for the 4 million, the auditors picked it. This money is not spent. And in your own submission, you've said this money was accumulative. No wonder we are raising an interest. If the money is accumulative, Chair, it must have a what? Some interest. No wonder the CS is saying, no, we've been guided to say the interest on the main account should be remitted to Control 99. That's our, we will not just see figures and words accumulative and just sit on our duties. No. It is your duty to elaborate further. But you are coming to say, yes, there are minutes. Where are they? I've just gone to Appendix 7. Are they here?
Yeah, we didn't include that one.
So how would your committee now know to say it's true these funds have been varied to this project?
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutero. So you didn't attach?
Yeah, we didn't attach, but the minutes are there. Can still be verified by the auditors.
It's not you to decide whether we should send the auditors back there. Yours was to do the needful here, to submit. It's a cost, eh? That is a cost for the auditors to come back to your local authority.
Sure,
when they are supposed to be doing something else. So we are encouraged to do the needful. Ring Town Council, it's a relatively small local authority. And your submission, a small document, which I believe as management, as you council secretary and your management, wouldn't be struggling to explain on these things unless there's something that is not straight, that is not okay. Look, when you come before this committee, the justification, oral justification, doesn't hold here. It doesn't. What we want is the auditors, what they picked from your local authority. All we want from you is the documentary evidence to the contrary, to say, no, that one which they picked it's like this. That one which they picked is like this. But in most cases, officers would want to come here and they say, we are going to explain, we will talk to them. Even visible, clear, and simple things that you are supposed to do. You still want us here to ask, why don't you have a signature here? Why don't you have this here? You were watching your colleagues before you came in. The ones that were asked to go back and come back later. Even yesterday, we are not even a signature. The council secretary can't put up a signature, can't put a stamp. There are documents that the bank would sign, and then there is no date stamp like the manager was signing from a restaurant or from somewhere. So these small things that our officers are doing, they are creating a lot of suspicions that there is something different that you are doing other than what you are supposed to be doing as officers. And development for Ruingo is dependent on you. It's dependent on you as technocrats at that local authority. We want you to work as a team, and we want you to give us coordinated responses on every question. Each one should have the same response. We do not want, we know when somebody is responding that here somebody is being economical with the truth. We wish you well, as I now withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you and allow you to go back to doing work hard and work well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You are free to leave.
For the nation, this is a trying moment, but together we stand. So many people are dying, but we can't stop fighting. We can prevent it. We can stop it. Takwabatindi nchushi nangu ndichinondo Eicho bane muchenjele pali ububulwele Ngatwai katana bonse uti waya
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
you are all that matters. 'Cause you are all that matters.
Balwani bobe If he loves you, he won't my way. He won't my way. He won't my way. For you. If she loves you, she won't my way. She won't my way. She won't my way. For you. Love is patient, love is kind, love is faithful, loyal and true. Love don't push nobody into doing things they
babumbile hey watambalike babe babonse nefya wachikane songe awe nikumakayowe kwena kalenga wakisuma niwe weka se kabili wabumba nomuntu se wabikamo nomupu wamukela nobuteko mwisonde we mfumu we mfumu yo 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 wekalenga wafisumani we Anyway. There's none like God.
Nale
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Today on the Constituency Development Program, we tour Matero constituency to appreciate how the Constituency Development Funds is being utilized. Matero constituency is comprised of 5 wards, namely Lima, Mwembeshi, Kapwepwe, Matero and Muchinga. Matero, just like any other constituency, has benefited from the Constituency Development Funds and has seen the construction of a number of projects, among them the construction of a 1x3 classroom block at George Central Primary School. The school has had a challenge of overcrowding in classes. The construction of this block has elated management at the school, as George Central Primary School head teacher Ms. Sylvia Ngoma explains.
The 1x3 classroom block, because we looked also at the population and where we are located, because we go as far as Middle West, it's far. Garden House, it caters for Garden House, Lusaka West also. So because of the population, to us now, we are a little bit okay in terms of space. But we still require another 1x3 classroom block because of the population. Most of the parents, they come as far as Garden Park, and when we looked at 1x3, at least it cushioned on the space for the pupils. To say much more, because of the distance, especially the lower section, we make sure that they come in the morning. And that 1x3 classroom really cushioned, because 1 to 4, they all come in the morning and mid. So meaning that the distance for them to cover, they go early home, rather than them to go maybe by 17 hours.
Lima Ward Councillor Mr. Daniel Mwewa also expressed happiness with the construction of a 1x3 classroom block at the school.
This school caters for pupils as far as Chilanga district, Kasupe area, Chikondano area, as well as Kanyama, and yes, as well as Kanyama. So we've had very few classroom blocks for a long time. So it was resolved that we needed more classroom blocks at this school. So no wonder this classroom block behind me was constructed using the 2022 CDF allocation. Yeah. So from the time it was constructed, I think we've seen some improvement. The pupils who were overcrowded in some classes, they've been shifted into these classrooms, and then we've seen some few desks in that. So as the local leadership, we are happy because part of the problem has been sorted out. Then going forward again, since it goes up to grade 9. There's also 1x4 classroom block which is coming. So the idea is we want to transition this school to go up to grade 12. So it will be a combined school. Then besides that, we this school received about 103 desks from the 2022 CDF allocation. Then again, about 350 desks are coming from the 2022 CDF allocation. So for us, all these developments, I think it has cheered me as a local leader and also different stakeholders in the community. We are happy that we are able to see the fruits of the Constituency Development Fund.
Another project that has been done under CDF in Matero is the renovation of Matero Police Post in Muchinga Ward. This police post was in a deplorable state, but now has a facelift, a development that has cheered the community. Ward Development Committee Chairperson Mr. Nosiku Masialeti sheds more light.
Among many projects that we've done under CDF, we are now at Matero North Police Post, which was renovated through the 2022 CDF funds. This police was dilapidated. We had to replaster it, put furniture inside, and then do work on the cells, both cells for women and for men. The office in charge's office has also been given a facelift by putting new furniture in there. We are happy with the works. We are happy with what CDF is doing, more especially that what is happening now comes from the community itself. So we are very happy with what is happening.
Mr. Masialeti is appealing to the community to guard the renovated police post jealously.
I would urge them to take care of this property because it took a lot of money for the government to put it together. So I urge them to work together, guard this property jealously so that at least we don't have to come back to this expense soon.
Matero Boys Secondary School has also had a share of the CDF. The school has received 500 desks, a development that has cheered the school administration.
We have been in dire need of furniture, and the donation through CDF of 500 desks has really benefited the school in that we have been able to put furniture in the new classrooms that were recently built. So we're very appreciative to government for this CDF donation. It helped us meet a need just at the right time.
This is Tiende Pamozi Primary School, situated in SOS area. Here, construction of a 1x3 classroom block is in progress. The school, which caters for grades 1 to 9, has had challenges with space. The construction of an additional classroom block will help alleviate the problem.
What you are seeing here is actually the CDF project. I think the school had applied in 2021 and it was approved in 2022, and now the works have commenced. A number of factors have necessitated this building. One of them being the catchment area is quite vast, and this is the only school we have around this place. Up to somewhere in Kabangwe, SOS, this one is the last school. So we have this whole community coming here to seek for places, and it has been a very big challenge for us, because we have inadequate space. As a school, we are so excited because it will really help us to even extend rooms for those that we have been turning down due to inadequate space. So this has really come at the right time when we just need it to, extend the education to the vulnerable out there whom we are not able to accommodate previously.
Ward Development Committee Chairperson Mr. Nosiku Masialeti sheds more light about the construction of the classroom block at Tiende Pamozi Primary School.
We are at Tiende Pamozi Primary School, where we are constructing a 1x3 classroom block through CDF. This school is situated in SOS area, and it caters for a very vast catchment area. So we are so grateful that this project has started, because we have a lot of students due to free education that was introduced by our president. The population in our schools has increased, so it's a step in the right direction.
This is Lilanda Health Post, situated in Kapwepo Ward. A maternity wing was constructed under CDF in 2022 and is yet to be commissioned. Medical services by expectant mothers will now be easily accessed, unlike in the past where mothers had to go to far-flung clinics to seek medical attention. Ms. Joyce Njovu, WDC Secretary, is elated with the construction of the health post.
Ndisaba okondwera maningi tuli abansansa sana pakuti CDF yatukulirako maternity wing because twalechula mu community abantu balechula ekine chine pantu kwalifya okuya ku level 1 limbi kuya ku George Clinic ekwa kuya papiri nomba pe ifiba CDF batuperako kutati batukulirako na clinic mwandi tuli abansansa sana muno mulilanda myeso pantu community yala chita benefit.
Miss Susan Peleti, a nurse at Talilanda Health Post, talks about the benefits of having a maternity wing in the area.
It has benefited us a lot in a way that mothers who are coming from far are able to access services from this facility other than going to George or Matero Face level. It will also help us to decongest Matero Face level itself and George in the aspect that services can be offered within our health post here.
Kalukungu Market is another beneficiary of CDF. Traders in this market have been trading without a shelter for years, but they have something to smile about because they are now trading in a conducive environment after the construction of a market shelter.
Bakalibe okupanga market yenze inagwa. Shelter mine yenzepo yenze inagwa. So tunankala zaka zambiri almost kapena ni 7 years kunalibe shelter. But isisuna chokepo tunalimbikira kunkala so chabe na mvula. Pakatwa barwisha ndi pamene yanabwera batupangira.
First of all, the shelter blown off. It will stay about 2-3 years. There is no market shelter. Afterwards, the area councillor come and build this shelter. Then they come and open.
The increase in CDF allocation to Matero constituency is bringing about community engagement and participation in identifying areas to be developed. This will in turn help develop the country as a whole.
The clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform all members of parliament and the general public that the third session of the 13th National Assembly, which adjourned sine die on Friday 15th December 2023, will resume on Tuesday 13th February 2024 at 14:30 hours.
Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings of the standing committees for the third session of the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following date. Committee on Transport, Works and Supply will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Fanyanga Mulikita under the topic Road Freight Transport in Zambia. Committee on Youth, Sport and Child Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Wesley, Nyarenda under the topic Drug and Substance Abuse Among Youths in Zambia. Committee on Reforms and Modernization will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Thomas Williams under the topic Proxy Voting for Members in the Chamber. Committee on Delegated Legislation will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Amusa Mwanamwambwa under the topic Selected Statutory Instruments. Committee on Public Accounts will sit in February to March 2024 in Fanyanga Mulikita under the topic Treasury Minutes and Other Emerging Reports. Committee on Local Government Accounts will sit from 8th January to March 2024 in Robinson Navuliato under the topic Audit Report on the Accounts of Local Authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 and report on the utilization of a Constituency Development Fund. Committee on Planning and Budgeting will sit from 19th of February to 1st March 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Review over the Budget Performance for the 3rd and 4th quarters of 2023. The committee will also sit from 17th to 28th June 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Consideration over the Annual Progress Report on the implementation of the 8 NDP. The Planning and Budgeting Committee will also sit from 15th to 25th July 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Mid-Year Budget Performance Review for 2024. The committee will also sit from 29th July to 2nd August 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Medium-Term Budget Plan. Members of the public and other interested parties may contact the following officers in the office of the clerk. Mr. Stephen Chiwota, Director of Financial Committees, on telephone number 292-425 up to 36, extension 3095. Mrs. Doreen N.C. Mukwanka, Director, Social Committees, telephone number 292-425 up to 36. Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings of the standing committees for the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following date. Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Fanyanga, Mulikita, under the topic The Implementation of Monthly Fuel Price Reviews in Zambia. Committee on National Security and Foreign Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Robinson, Naburiato, under the topic The State of Infrastructure at Borders and Ports of Entry into the Country. Committee on National Guidance and Gender Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 4, under the topic The Review of the Gender-Based Violence Response and Programming vis-a-vis establishment of victims' shelters, fast-track courts, and the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Fund. Committee on Education, Science and Technology will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 5, under the topic A Review of the Implementation of the Education Curriculum. Committee on Health, Community Development and Social Services will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 3 under the topic Devolution of Primary Health Care Services in Zambia. Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labor Matters will sit from 30th January to 10th February 2024 in Committee Room number 1 under the topic A Review of the Informal Labor Sector and its Contribution to the Economy. Members of the public and other interested parties may contact the following officers in the office of the clerk. Mr. Stephen Chiwota, Director of Financial Committees, on telephone number 292-425 up to 36. Mrs. Doreen N.C. Mukwanka, Director, Social Committees, telephone number 292-425 up to 36. This information is available on the National Assembly website www.parliament.gov.zm. Here is an announcement from National Assembly. The following committee meetings of the standing committees for the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly will start sitting on the following dates. Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Robinson, Naburiato, under the topic Carbon Markets and Trading in Zambia, Opportunities and Challenges. Committee on Cabinet Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Wesley, Nyirenda, under the topic Review over the Operations and Management of a Smart Zambia. Committee on Government Assurances will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Thomas Williams under the topic Selected Government Assurances. Committee on Legal Affairs, Human Rights and Governance will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Amusa Mwanamwambwa under the topic The Fight Against Corruption in Zambia. Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Committee Room Number 4 under the topic A Review over the Implementation of the Constituency Development Fund. Committee on Media, Information and Communication Technologies will sit from 16th to 27th January 2024 in Committee Room Number 1 under the topic Zambia ICT Infrastructure vis-a-vis Financial Technology Growth. Members of the public and other interested parties may contact the following officers in the office of the clerk. Mr. Stephen Chiwota, Director of Financial Committees, on telephone number 292-425 up to 36. Mrs. Doreen N.C. Mukwanka, Director, Social Committees, telephone number 292-425 up to 36. This information is available on the National Assembly website www.parliament.gov.zm.
Affairs. This committee is considering a topical subject of drug and substance abuse among the youths. So we've received your written memoranda. We will require you to speak to this written memoranda by highlighting salient issues that you feel you can bring to the attention of this committee orally. And I know within, since it will just be salient issues, within 10 minutes we will allow you to speak, and then later on we shall allow the honorable members of parliament also to engage you by the same token within the period of 15 minutes. But before that, we will have to ask you to introduce yourselves as a delegation. Then we shall ask the members of parliament also to introduce themselves. Then I will proceed to confer immunity on you as you make your deliberation. Please, you can proceed as and when you are ready to.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. My name is Nyambe Innocent. I'm the head of investigations and legal services at the Human Rights Commission. I'll allow my colleague to introduce himself as well.
You can switch on the microphone, please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Foster Hamyobe. I'm the head of research and planning at the Human Rights Commission. Thank you.
Okay. We shall proceed with the honorable members of parliament to introduce themselves. Honorable member from my far left.
Good morning, Human Rights Commission. My name is Jinji Senga, a member of parliament for Mambilima constituency in Wapa province and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, witness. I'm Banda Krell, member of parliament for Vobu in the Eastern Province and a member of this committee. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Human Rights. Honorable Dr. Alex Katakwe, member of parliament for Solwezi East constituency, Moshindamo district. Thank you very much.
Morning, Chair. Morning, witnesses. I'm Hudson Mabeta, member of parliament for Kankoyo in Mufurira. I thank you.
You're most welcome, Human Rights Commission. My name is Evans Chilongo from the host of the clerk. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, witness. My name is Ronald K. Chitotera, member of parliament for Pambashe. And by courtesy of my friends, I have been privileged to chair this committee. As you may be aware, witness, that whenever you are appearing before the parliamentary committee, you need to enjoy the immunities that are enjoyed by members of parliament, so that whatever submission you make before this committee cannot be used anywhere within the jurisdiction of Zambia in any court of law or in any of the legally constituted tribunal against yourselves, unless you choose to deliberately mislead this committee. The same Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia can turn against you. But we are certain that as a competent witness and a professional witness, you will not deliberately choose to mislead this committee, but to provide viable information that will help this committee to come up with a report that shall be deliberated by the full house and resolutions made. So witness, you are now conferred with immunity to allow you to make presentation without fear of any future reprisal. So you can proceed and make your submission, witness.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. By way of apologizing on behalf of the Acting Director, Mrs. Katendi Kapinankombo, she sends her apologies for not being here this morning. She has an engagement with the Ministry of Justice. Very quickly, I'll run through our memorandum, highlighting the salient features, as you said, Honorable Chairperson, under 10 minutes. The Human Rights Commission is pleased to highlight observations under the thematic areas relating to drug and substance abuse among youths in Zambia. And some of the specific comments in our memoranda that we had shared and submitted before this committee relates to the following. One, the adequacy of the policy and legal framework supporting programs against drug and substance abuse among youths in Zambia. Honorable Chairperson, on this aspect, the Commission observes that the current legal framework is adequate in that it is established or enacted to prevent drug and substance abuse, combat drug trafficking and related illegal acts, and it also seeks to rehabilitate victims and criminalize illegal use, distribution, manufacturing, or importation of drugs. On the issue relating to measures that the government has put in place to address drug and substance abuse among youths in Zambia, the Commission notes that the high unemployment levels and lack of recreational facilities among the youths in Zambia has greatly influenced drug and substance abuse. The government must therefore deliberately provide recreational services accessible by youths and improve provisions aimed at job creation to capture the youth population. On the aspect of the role of the state and non-state actors in combating drug and substance abuse, the Commission has noted that state actors have a mandate within the various legislative platforms under our laws, and this mandate extends to both recreational facilities as well as prevention of drug abuse in the country. In terms of non-state actors, Honorable Chairperson, civil society organizations and the individual citizens, there is a role that these civil society organizations and individual citizens have to promote awareness aimed at preventing drug and substance abuse. It is observed that most drugs such as alcohol may be addictive, and therefore to roll out campaigns that educate the general public is a role that civil society organizations can implement through various platforms. The general public equally has a role to report activities of drug and substance abuse to institutions such as the Drug Enforcement Commission, established with the central mandate to combat the vice of drug and substance abuse. Some of the challenges faced in combating drug and substance abuse among the youths in Zambia, the Commission observes that the lack of recreational facilities, of course, as earlier alluded to, and the high levels of unemployment are among the major challenges that may be faced in combating drug and substance abuse. Another challenge, Honorable Chairperson, relates to the inadequacy of the education system, which has been a major challenge in combating drug and substance abuse. In most densely populated areas of Zambia, youths lack awareness on the dangers and consequences of drug and substance abuse. Our recommendations, Honorable Chairpersons, on the way forward in addressing the vice of drug and substance abuse among youths in Zambia. The Commission recommends the deliberate educational awareness programs against drug and substance abuse that must be carried out in all the schools, beginning at primary up all the way to secondary school level. Additionally, the lack of employment among the youths must be addressed as one of the measures to effectively combat drug and substance abuse. Further, recreational facilities must be accessible by the youths in a bid to discourage youths to resorting to illicit substances. it is further encouraged that rehabilitation centers must be decentralized in all provinces as well as districts, as opposed to having penal sanctions against victims of drug and substance abuse. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, witness, for your submission, and more especially on your recommendation. As I invite in other MPs to interact with you, I have a question that I want you to clarify. As Human Rights Commission, as we deal with the challenge that is facing Zambia today, which is the drug and substance abuse by our youth, do you think the legal framework is sufficient enough to deal with the drug traffickers, not the substance abusers, but the ones that supply this, bearing in mind other foreign jurisdictions like India, Russia, and a lot of Asian countries that have serious punitive measures against those that are involved in trafficking than those that are involved in consumption? Do you think Zambia has sufficient or enough registration to deal with who would be the drug traffickers or the suppliers?
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. As we have rightly stated in our memorandum and submission, the legal framework currently as it exists in Zambia is sufficient to address some of the challenges that the Honorable Chairperson has mentioned. I'll mention, for instance, the Act itself, the Psychotropic and Substances Act. It provides for legislation that criminalizes the manufacture of drugs. I think what is needed, Honorable Chairperson, going forward is that, of course, we have the legislative framework, but the implementation itself is what is cardinal, and this is why it is seen sometimes like we do not have the sufficient legislation. The Commission feels that there is sufficient legislation. However, it is on the implementation part that is lacking due to various reasons. Some of them include adequate funding.
Okay, to what extent do you think the courts are empowered to mete out stiffer punishment to the offenders that are involved in drug trafficking? I have cited the foreign jurisdiction like India, China, Russia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and a lot of jurisdiction within the Asian countries. To what extent? Because if the registration says a fine, or today a person is caught into drug trafficking, the court's power is probably to declare that person a PR and send him. He goes again, he comes, and he continues. Do you think that provision in the law is sufficient? Anyway, keep it as I invite other members of parliament to come in. It's not about the law is not there. The law is there, but is it serving the purpose of deterring the traffickers in these drugs? Why has Zambia been a conducive center for drug trafficking in the region? Is it because of the weak framework in the law? That I know that even if I'm caught in Zambia, I'll be taken to court, because the court cannot pronounce more than what is registered. The court will be able to speak to what is provided for in the law. Honorable members, anyone of you who has another addition on our witness, Dr. Katakwe, as the witness who combined to deal with these two questions.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Human Rights, for your concise presentation. I just want to find out from your jurisdiction as Human Rights Commission. I know that some of the rights of citizens, people have got the right to use drugs, to smoke, drink, it's their right. Now, when it is in excess and it impedes on a certain, let's say, health, the health of an individual, maybe behavior that become unbecoming for society, then these people, let's say they are reprimanded, they get into prison and so on. You again as human rights, you come in to protect the same perpetrators. So I want to find out what's your role in trying to protect these same victims, and also trying to, the court trying to deter them from such kind of behavior as a result of alcohol use, drug abuse, and so on. So how do you balance as human rights so that you don't really seem to be favoring the same perpetrators or protecting their rights when they want to be corrected? Just want to find out on that aspect. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, witness, you can proceed and deal with those two questions.
Thank you, Chair. Let me start with the Chair's concerns that probably our laws are not strong enough to deter would-be offenders. First of all, I think Human Rights Commission, from most of the studies that we have done, stiffer punishment has never been a deterrent to committing offenses. It has never. And that's the same argument that we used when we are arguing for removal of death sentence. It is never a deterrent to people who want to commit offenses. What it deters people is strength of the system to detect and to prevent. If our systems in the borders, entry points are so strong that when those would-be offenders try to come into the country, know that they will not manage, they will not even waste their time trying to come here. And that's where the weakness is. We feel some of us who have been privileged to travel, for example, through our airports, compared to what we go through in other countries in terms of making sure that those who are carrying drugs are netted. You'll see the difference. I think that we need to improve. We need to do a lot of things to improve. We need to train our officers, in being able to look at someone and being able to say, perhaps this person is hiding something. You see in other countries when they just look at people, they're able to say, perhaps this person is carrying something. Why is he behaving? Why is he sweating? Why is he behaving like this? So we need to intensify training, modern techniques of detecting, and also upgrade our systems so that we are able to detect. Most of these drugs that come through into our country, they come from outside. We don't produce drugs here. Most of the drugs come from outside. How do they come in the first place? Then when they come here, then we should give them punishments. It doesn't just deter people from consuming. Those drugs are already in the country. So we should stop those drugs before they even enter our country. That should be our priority, in my view, Chair. Honorable Katak was asking whether there is no conflict of interest for the Human Rights Commission, because we protect people's rights and these people are committing offenses. There's no conflict of interest. We encourage people to abide by the law, to respect the law and follow what the law says. If they break the law, Commission will not be there to protect you. And that's the position of the Human Rights Commission. Those that commit offenses will not be there to defend people who have committed offenses, but will be there to protect their rights. Even when they have committed these offenses, they still have rights, which should not be trampled upon because they have committed an offense. And that's the position of the Commission again. So there's no conflict in terms of our mandate, and also ensuring that and even when we are meeting our stakeholders, when we are meeting members of the public out there, we stress the fact that you should be law-abiding citizens, and the Commission will not stand for those that break the law. And where the law takes its course, we always wait for. Unless someone complains, we don't even have jurisdiction once the case is going to court. So those are. I wanted to just clarify that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Before Honorable Katak comes in, I will follow up. You provoked my mind just as an example of we must not advocate for stiffer punishment as a way of correction, because your study has revealed that it is not the way that deters people from doing wrong. The drug abuse, the drug and substance abuse in Zambia is affecting the larger population of the country across Zambia. Late last year, Parliament passed the law. I hope you are invited as a stakeholder on the theft of livestock, which largely is to do with a certain portion of the country. Because if you ask me about, except you included chicken and goats, and which also affects my province.